Love, 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 love me some Stephen Hawking. You know he turned down knighthood? I'm sure very, very politely. But told the Queen, I guess, shove it. How about doing something for my department? Here at the college, the college. I believe the same college that Sir Isaac Newton attended. That now Stephen Hawking found himself holding that very same post. Yeah, I can see where that would make some of his contemporaries a little jealous. One of them comes to mind. I won't name names, that would be crappy of me. I watched him exude. I shouldn't say exude, that's strong. I have seen the trickles of venom dripping from the edges of his mouth when he talks about Stephen. A contemporary of Stephen's. Yeah, I've seen it. It's cute. It's cute. Rivalry. But I think it's a little bit more for this guy. No matter. Love me some Stephen Hawking. He's like, why y'all people asking about what happened before the Big Bang? Why you doing that? That's like asking what's north of the North Pole. I do believe that's a Stephen Professor Hawking quote. Dean of, I believe, physics. I hope I'm ignorant. I'm unlearned, so I hope I have his title right. Posthumously, of course, he's left us. What a great loss for man. But nothing's forever, eh? I lament and digress. What's north of the North Pole? You know, in the last couple of years, I'm kind of geeky. Being a horologist, a studier of time, I am acutely aware of it. I'm acutely aware of time and all of the illusion that it is. What's north of the North Pole, he jests or proffers, puts out. I've heard more than one JPL engineer and or maybe a JPL physicist. I've heard it more than once now, I'm sure of it. They've used the word nothing. I'm like, sweet Jesus, they're finally getting it. They're finally getting it, God Daddy. Something from nothing. There may be hope for us yet. You know, I see these Bible thumpers out there. Bible thumpers. I see these Bible thumpers out there. They're all up into that. They're waving the Bible. To those Christians, that book that they're holding in their hand is like it's like a sword. It really is. It's like a weapon. They've weaponized it. There, I convict my own. I'm reminded of a movie. I can't remember the name. I want to say Spencer Tracy was playing a priest, a Catholic priest. Yeah, both my family's Catholicism, stand, sit, and kneel. I'm like, I don't think so. That's not happening for this boy. Keep your incense. Keep them. Yeah, they smell nice from afar, from a very afar. Wave that little thing, that little tea strainer back and forth or whatever you call it. You put them things in, you burn it, it smells pretty. That potpourri, that's beautiful. You keep all that. Stand, sit, and kneel, and also with you. Great! Yeah, I got a little thing for Catholicism, I guess. I guess it would be fair to say that. Okay. When Christ died, he said, the curtain is torn. What did he mean by that? I will be brief. He meant that you have a direct line of communication to the Father through him as your intermediary. Profess a relationship with the Christ Jesus, and you have access to the Father. There. I'm dumbing it down. So I kind of got a little thing for Catholicism, maybe. I look at that guy with the reverse collar, the member of the clergy, and I go, that's great. And I genuinely mean that. I'm happy you devoted your life to Christ. But beyond that, it's like, your frock don't do nothing for me. Not a thing. Your uniform, your man-made, inspired uniform does nothing for me. I'm looking at your heart. I ain't looking at your reverse collar. It's what I do. I'm pretty good at it, too. Anyway. Spencer Tracy. On to get off again, right? Wasn't that one of them Katharine Hepburn? On to get off again. Richard Taylor, Elizabeth Burke. On to get... Ooh. Steamy. Can you stay on point, John? I'm trying. He's at a bar having a drink. Nothing wrong with that. Catholic priest sitting at a bar having a drink. A businessman, Hollywood even in the 50s, they made sure he was a businessman, black suit, black hat. Finds himself next to the priest. They're both having a scotch or whatever, their evening drink. And then it starts. And the secular man comes at him and puts him to the test. Puts his faith to the test. Know what you believe and why you believe it. I think that's Ann Cantergraph. Got to give him props. Know what you believe and why you believe it. So the secular man starts working him. Where is this big guy? Where is... I'll say, no, there's no evidence for God. Blah, blah, blah. He makes a pretty compelling argument. He does, the secular man. I'm being moronic there, but it's my prerogative. In his argument to the priest. The priest takes it, accepts it, respects the man all the way through his opening volley. Then he returns fire, and he says, let me ask you some questions. He said, have you ever had a toothache? And the secular man said, well, yeah. He said, could you touch it? The secular man said, well, no. Priest asks, because they both know what's happening now. Hey, the priest didn't pick the fight. He says, can you see it? And the secular man says, no. Can you touch it? Secular man says, no. Well then, how do you know you got a toothache? And the secular man says, because I can feel it. And with that, the priest turned back to his scotch or whatever he was drinking, his old-fashioned, I don't know. Maybe a gentle smile from the priest and a sober expression from the businessman, the world. And as the priest, much like the Holy Ghost, I've told you about another story, it is the priest's prerogative at that point. He has won the debate. For all to see, he's won it. He was challenged on how he knew there was a God if he couldn't prove it. And of course, he still told the businessman he could feel it. And of course, the businessman tried to shoot that down, and that's why you got the second half first. He looked away from the businessman, went back to his drink, as if the businessman did not exist. Graciously, mind you, but broke contact and went back to his drink. And that was that. So, oh, Dr. Reed's alive and well. I miss you, old man. You know, I left you because I knew you were dying and I didn't want to see it. That's why I left you, Doc. You know that. Guess what? There's my Dr. Reed. Guess what? When you read that set of canonized, pay attention, canonized, Hand of Man, when you read that set of books, also known as the Bible, you need to read that. Yes, I used the word need, didn't I? How brazen of me. When you get old, you don't care. Because I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. I'm going to shove that down your God-shaped hole. When you read that Bible, you need to read that with your heart first. Way first. And somewhere tagging along behind, you know, maybe like a just married tin can on a rope behind you is your brain. You can drag that along behind you. Because if you try to read that book with your brain, you're going to hurt yourself. It's going to hurt. Bless your pee big and hard. Somebody cue up the Jeff Foxworth. Bless your pee big and hard. It's going to hurt. Dipping skull. That's a nasty habit. You shouldn't do that. Let me chase that with a Red Bull. I'll feel better. Shh, don't tell my doctor. I have blood pressure pills. It's going to be all right. Back to the priest and the secular man. He did have one final thing to say to the businessman. Even though he'd won the day, gentlemanly as he was, the priest conceded something, and he didn't have to, because the debate had already ended. And I think the priest came out certainly unscathed, okay? Certainly unblemished. He looked at the man, and in contrition, he said, the Bible is a good book, but it's not the only book. I'll wait. Absorb that. Go ahead. Give it a couple more seconds. I'll wait. Absorb it. So when you, as a fellow Christian, that's right, those of you that have taken the time out of your busy lives to listen to any of my BS, you'll know that you're fair game. I don't care who you are. If you're my brother or you're my sister, you're fair game. Because I'm a burned out, pissed off watchmaker at this point. And I've had it up to my lips. I'm trying to keep my lips now above the vat of sewage known as life on this planet. If you believe that the earth is 6,000 years old, I need you to send me your address so I can drive to wherever you are, whether it's Terre Haute, Indiana. I'll take a plane to Sydney. I haven't been to Australia. I'm happy to go back so I can come to your doorstep, introduce myself, and then bitch slap you for being stupid. Hey, newsflash. Bible thumpers, newsflash. It's not even 6,000 years. You forgot about Mount Ararat, didn't you? Well, look at that. Why don't you knock off at least 1,000 years for that? Now you're down to 5, and I'm sure I'm being generous. So in 5,000 years, that woman in Beijing, China, came from the same loins as you did. Within, what, a few dozen generations? Within a few, I don't know, anthropology here. I don't know, some generations, a few dozen maybe? I don't know. That girl looks nothing like you, man. Assuming you're not Chinese, you're not a Chinese lady, excuse me, to any Chinese ladies that may be listening to this. That woman looks nothing like you, man. Now, you think that happened from Mount Ararat? Really? Really? What is wrong with you? Wake up and smell the road. It's one of my little sayings because I passed out a lot in gutters because I drank too much. And I could smell the asphalt in the morning if it rained. Wake up and smell the road. Smell it. You're beyond ignorant. You're stupid. That's right, I'm calling my fellow Christian brothers and sisters out. You're stupid. Did you know that whales have 5 digits just like you? Why would a whale have hands inside of its flippers? That doesn't make no sense. It had hands. Well, not as dexterous as yours and mine, perhaps, but it had feet. It walked at one point. Now, if you think I'm just blowing up, you can go Google that. There are birth defects that have been seen now. There are photographs of whales with legs growing out of the back of them. So, you're going to tell me now that the earth is 5,000 years old? Stop reading the Bible with your head. Read it with your heart. And you're going to do much better. Because if you read it with your heart, the Bible, the Holy Bible, the canonized works, deemed by man to be the best of the best of the best. Because there's other stuff out there. Did you know that, little Christian? The Apocrypha. There's all kinds of other sets of works out there that man decided wasn't the best of the best of the best. So it didn't get included in the Holy Bible. I have to believe those men put those books together because, for one, they tied together well. They tell a story. Odd how they all link together. But they all tell excellent stories on how to be a better human being. A better human being. Be a better human being. Don't be a Republican or a Christian or a carpenter or a this or a that. Be a better human being.